the Mavs. Russ got so frustrated with that, he started picking a fight with everyone in his way, taking a leave of the WWE's fast lane perhaps. Russ would get his 14th technical of the season for throwing the ball at the referee. No triple-double for Russ tonight. Dallas win this by 15. Now, adding to his misery, Westbrook has now picked up his 14th technical of the season. He is now just 2 away from an automatic 1-game suspension, while 1 away from equaling his tally in the 2014-2015 season with 15 techs.
The Warriors have not lost 3 straight since November of 2013, and Steph Curry was not about to let that happen in New York. The layup gave GSW an 11-point lead in the opening Q, and in the second, improving his numbers from 3-point territory. Game tied at 34, Steph got even hotter in the second half. Now, he made 11 of his 24 from the field, beating the clock to make it an 8-point game to the Warriors here. Steph also added 6 helpers.
Steps back, fires, three-pointer, it's good. Steph Curry now.
He was unstoppable on the night, and this one here, he dishes that dime to his splash brother Clay just before closing out his game with 31 points. And then the step-back J over Carmelo Anthony, and GSW win by 9.
Some ups and downs tonight, but at the end of the game, showed exactly our identity, moving the ball, finding the open guy, and finishing the game strong. Coach Q was telling me to think about nothing, which I was trying to do. Like, don't worry about mechanics, don't worry about what's going on in the last 2 or 3 games, just shoot. And it obviously worked in the third quarter, so it's the NBA season, ups and downs, you just got to stick with the program. Every year is different, and you're going to be hit with some obstacles and challenges along the way, like you said, and we obviously love to have a full squad, but as we finish out the regular season, we got to answer the bell. You know, whoever suits up, whoever's ready to play, get wins, continue to get better, because we're not where we want to be going into the playoffs. So that's something that we need to focus on down the stretch.
Since leaving Phoenix in 2015, Isaiah Thomas has become one of the NBA's leading point guards, and facing his former team here, Thomas showing the Suns what they're missing out on, a triple from the corner. Celtics up 7 in the first quarter. Now we jump straight to the fourth, because that's when this contest gets juicy. Thomas again from distance. He shoots and he scores. More IT, another dagger right here. 14 points in the final Q, 35 in total. Boston still ahead, but Mr. Fourth Quarter will be upstage tonight because the Suns catch fire late. Eric Bledsoe doing work, and then going a little fancy with this reverse right here. Now he finished with 28 points and 9 assists. And we're tied. Believe it or not, it's Thomas who is responsible for throwing this game. The loose ball to Tyler Ulis, who sinks this right at the buzzer. A career high, 20 points on the night. Boston dropped to 3 games behind Eastern Conference leaders, Cleveland. There is some good news amidst all the bad. Thomas's 35-point output puts him on course to challenge a Boston franchise record held by Larry Bird for almost 30 years for the most points per game average in a season. Mr. Fourth Quarter has 19 games to up his average by 0.5 points per game. And here's a stat for you. No Boston player has ever won the NBA scoring title, ever.
Ian Woosnam,
David Duval,
Vijay Singh,
and Adam Scott.
Those are 4 men who are in a very, very elite club in golf.
Yep, they're the only golfers who have gone on to win their first tournament after becoming world #1.
And now you can add a new member in that club, current #1, Dustin Johnson. DJ may not have led any of the rounds at the WGC Mexico Championship, but he definitely responded on the final day, getting his 3rd birdie of the round at the par 4, 8th here. 3 became 4 at the 9th hole. DJ could only par the same hole at his previous 3 attempts. Meanwhile, all the way at the 14th, John Ram would get his 3rd birdie of the day with this putt right here. Bird finish and share the lead with DJ at this point. But then Tommy Fleetwood wanted in on the action as well. He would get this 40-foot birdie at his final hole to finish in the runner-up spot. And then he had to wait to see if this man was up for the challenge, and he was. DJ would recover from a bogey at the 16th to par his final 2 holes, finishing with 14 under par to clinch his 2nd straight title in as many tournaments.
You know, the first day, I didn't feel like I was hitting bad putts, so, you know, it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't really, I was frustrated, but not like, you know, I didn't feel like it was anything I was doing wrong with the putter. So, you know, I just kept, you know, trying to read the putts as best as I could and, you know, just really, you know, commit to the lines I was going to pick and make a good stroke.
You know, the course got a little trickier over the weekend, and, you know, maybe I just didn't quite adjust to that. But, you know, all in all, first week back, it's okay. But, you know, being 2 ahead going into the weekend, obviously disappointing to finish where I have.
Coming up on Daily, 2 hot shot strikers in the Premier League go head-to-head. You won't want to miss it. Back after this short break.
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by Wanda Coffee. Try the new Wanda Extra Presso. Brickfields Asia College, the fastest and smartest way. And MyAG, your e-government service provider.
Welcome back. Now, only one player currently plying his trade in the Premier League has scored more goals than Romelu Lukaku before turning 24. Any guesses, Nadia?
I'm not going to guess because you're going to tell me anyways, but he's not a Liverpool player, right?
No, unfortunately, it's not. It might seem obvious, though, when I tell you this. It is Wayne Rooney. 86 goals before he got to the age of 24. At 23 years and 296 days young, though, Lukaku is 13 goals shy from Rooney's total.
Oh yes, he's already got 19 goals this season from all competitions, including 5 in his last 4 matches.
Yeah, unfortunately, his 73rd goal in the Premier League was just not enough to save his team from defeat. Both Lukaku and Harry Kane started the match having scored the same number of goals in the Premier League, but it was the Englishman who scored first from 30 meters out. So good that it is worthy of a replay. Make sure you watch this closely, okay? Belgian Jan Vertonghen wanted a piece of the pie as well and tried this powerful shot, only to be denied by Joel Robles. Now, can you afford to give a chance like this to a predator like Harry Kane? I think you know the answer to that. The league's top scorer with his 2nd of the night. And Lukaku eventually pulled one back for the Toffees, capitalizing on Vertonghen's slip, and it's only Everton's 2nd shot on target in all of 80 minutes. But the Toffees' faint hopes were short-lived when Dele Alli did this. And if there's an award given for the best celebration, Mauricio Pochettino would take the top prize. Enner Valencia pulled another one back for Everton, but it was too late to snatch a draw. With 11 matches to go, the race for the Golden Boot Award is heating up. Kane's 19 goals in the top flight is helped by his 4 penalties, while Lukaku has not scored any from the spot this season in the league. Meanwhile, Arsenal's Alexis Sanchez, who started as a substitute against Liverpool, could only manage an assist, and so he remains in 3rd.
That man's 11 goals after Christmas kept Sunderland in the Premier League last season, and it looks as if Jermaine Defoe will have to perform the same Houdini act again. Problem was, this effort got carried away by Willy Caballero. Fabio Borini failed to do any better with that rebound as well. Now the Black Cats came close again twice, but the first of Billy Jones's header fell directly into Caballero's arms, and the other, check this one out, narrowly wide. So the citizens decided to show them how it's done. From their only shot on target in the first half, Sergio Aguero, the finisher there, 2nd half. Now, Leroy Sané, without breaking his stride, coolly slotted in his 3rd goal of the season thanks to the assist by David Silva. City cruising. The Black Cats tried to claw their way back into the game. Sebastian Larsson unable to get the better of Caballero. Now later, we've got Aguero feeling a little greedy here, but Jordan Pickford stood in his way. That 5th goal in 4th appearances at the Stadium of Light would have to wait. Sunderland continue hanging on for dear life.
So we start the season with 10 games in a row winning, but our game was not, I think, like today, but that is normal after 7 or 8 months together. We know each other better, I know the players better, they know me, they know us better. We train a little bit in the way we want to play, more specific, and that's why. So I feel we are playing quite good, and that's why we are making results. But of course now we are in a position when you arrive in March and April, every game, if you win, you stay, if you lose, you are out.
I thought their commitment and game plan, try to stop Man City playing, very difficult because they're a top team. MD who was at the City Monaco game during the week would have vouched for that. So I've got to say our players gave everything they could, but when we got the ball back, which we did quite a bit, we at times lacked the quality to make opportunities or build the play.
City will have a chance to leapfrog Spurs in second if they beat the Potters on Thursday morning. Arsenal, meanwhile, dropped out of the top 4 for the first time and are in danger of missing out on Champions League football next season for the first time in 18 years. Wow. While Manchester United missed a glorious chance to march into the top 4 when they were held at home by 10-men Bournemouth.
What Chelsea love is to pop a West Ham bubble. What West Ham love is to knock Chelsea off their perch. A raw rivalry and a match of genuine consequence.
One more blockbuster for you from the Premier League. The Hammers will welcome current league leaders Chelsea in the early hours of Tuesday. Win and the Blues will extend their advantage at the top to 10 points. Lose and, well, nothing happens really, because that gap between Spurs and Chelsea will remain at 7. Whee!
It is so good to see Fernando Torres back healthy after he was hospitalized for a horror head clash on Thursday there in the director's box. And his usual strike partner, Antoine Griezmann, well, he made Valencia sick after a solid performance here. The French star could have easily scored 4 at the Vicente Calderon, and his first was dedicated to his girlfriend on her birthday. Very sweet. And his manager Diego Simeone here wants the captain's armband, we think. Minutes later, Griezmann had an identical opportunity, but the finish was not quite the same. Same story in the second half. The 25-year-old wasted yet another chance. He went one-on-one with Diego Alves, but he was denied, and you got to give the keeper props for that great save. So, after 83 minutes of trying, Griezmann would finally net his second of the night. That is his 20th goal of the season. Atletico win 3-0, and Liverpool, it's time to call him on his cell phone, please. Because I believe that Man United and Arsenal have already been leaving him messages. Anyway, Atletico are singing a different tune right now. Their first win in 3 matches takes them back up to 4th in La Liga, but they've got a tricky run in on the horizon. Their next 5 league matches will see them host 3rd place Sevilla, host 5th place Real Sociedad, and visit 2nd place Real Madrid.
Meanwhile, at the top of Liga, there was Falcao reviving his Monaco career, but clearly on a break when his team took on Nantes. And a young new hero making the headlines for all the right reasons. His name is Kylian Mbappe, if you haven't already heard of him. After making a name against City in the Champions League a fortnight ago, the young Frenchman struck again, taking just 4 minutes to score his 9th league goal of the season. The free-flowing offence adopted by the league leaders was evident, especially when Valère Germain doubled the lead after 39 minutes. Then, just before the break, Mbappe showed the world why he wasn't a one-trick pony, using his head wisely to make it 3-0 to Monaco. The team from the Principality kept the momentum going after the interval, earning a spot kick right here. And having Fabinho extend his perfect record from the spot for their 5th straight league win at home. In the process, Mbappe also set a new record, being only 18 years and 2 months young. He's the youngest player to score 10 or more goals in a single season. But before you start calling him a potential world-class talent, the feat does not necessarily guarantee it. Just take a look at the list we've compiled for you. Besides World Cup winner David Trezeguet and Champions League winner Djibril Cissé, do you think the others can make the cut?
Speaking of goals, you guys know that you're pretty much in charge of the top 30 show, right? I'm talking to them at home.
Oh, yeah. The goals you vote for will make the list. So head on over to stadiumastro.com now and vote.
Voting closes Wednesday morning at 10 a.m.
All right, congrats, guys. You have survived Monday. So good night.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a home of cricket. This is the big test.
A fresh new phase enlivening Lezoni flight in Mumbai.
David Warner is being contained, looking to bust out.
What a delivery, bounce, little bit of spin.
There's an edge, there's a wicket. He's straight into action, Nathan Lyon.
Australia Tour of India 2017. Subscribe via Channel 200.
First and exclusive.
You betray me. Do you still believe that love conquers all?
We're going to start a brownie empire. These girls, they can go towards a college fund.
Football does not want to talk to you.
If you continue to deny my work, your men continue to die.
I'm going to keep you alive.
First and exclusive, and all new on Saturdays.
The NBA on Astro Supersport 4 and HD.
This is a home of cricket. This is the big test.
A fresh new phase enlivening Lezoni flight in Mumbai.
David Warner is being contained, looking to bust out.
What a delivery, bounce, little bit of spin.
There's an edge, there's a wicket. He's straight into action, Nathan Lyon.
Australia Tour of India 2017. Subscribe via Channel 200.
Mike Webster had abandoned his family, slipped into financial chaos and homelessness.
He was a guy who gave us hope when there really was no hope.
Cardiac arrest may be how he died, but not why.
I think I found a disease that no one has ever seen before.
They use the head as a weapon.
Families are being destroyed right now. If you continue to deny my work, your men continue to die.
Concussion premieres Saturday, March 11th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Watch the Premier League live on Astro.
The headlines from Omnisport on Monday, the 6th of March. Mbappe at the double as Monaco go clear of rivals. Spurs close gap on Chelsea after Everton win. And DJ streaks clear to take Mexico title. Also in the programme, Harden gives Rockets lift-off again. Tsurenko claims third WTA title. And clean sweep for China in freestyle skiing aerials. First, wonder kid Kylian Mbappe scored twice as Monaco strolled past Nantes to go 3 points clear at the top of Ligue 1. PSG and Nice had closed the gap a day earlier, but it took just 4 minutes to settle any Monaco nerves. Teenage sensation Mbappe reacting brilliantly after Bernardo Silva's blocked shot fell to him. Incredibly, that was his 8th goal in 9 matches. 2 more close to half-time killed the game off for the league leaders. Kamil Glik's miss-hit shot falling to Valère Germain, whose cool finish impressed rested top scorer Radamel Falcao. Then a sumptuous Silva cross was just waiting to be finished, and Mbappe obliged. The 18-year-old wasn't given the chance to complete his hat-trick when Thomas Lemar was fouled and Monaco won a second-half penalty. Instead, regular taker Fabinho rounded off the scoring with his 9th goal of the season. 10 games to go, and Monaco are getting closer to a first title in 17 years.
Elsewhere, Marseille boosted their top 4 chances with an emphatic win at struggling Lorient. It took just 6 minutes for Rudy Garcia's side to forge ahead, Portuguese defender Rolando bundling home his 4th league goal of the season. Dimitri Payet scored in a midweek Coupe de France defeat by Monaco, and he repeated the feat after 19 minutes. Quick thinking by the former West Ham man putting the visitors in control. Florian Thauvin scored some absolute crackers this term. This one may not make his top 3, but it made things even more comfortable for Marseille early in the second half. And Thauvin was the provider as Morgan Sanson made it 4 moments later. A late Benjamin Mukanjo effort, scant consolation for Lorient.
In England, Harry Kane moved to the top of the Premier League scoring charts, netting twice as Tottenham beat Everton at White Hart Lane. Kane's braced his 18th and 19th league goals of the campaign, put the hosts in control. Romelu Lukaku halved the deficit before late goals from Tottenham's Dele Alli and Everton's Enner Valencia completed a 5-goal thriller. Second place, Tottenham moved to within 7 points of leaders Chelsea, having played a game more.
It's true that we are, as the gap is 7 points. I would like to be closer than 7 points. But I think if you keep going in that way, maybe we will achieve on the end if they fail. But it's up to us to keep our form, and if to be a little bit lucky if Chelsea fail.
Manchester City moved to within a point of Spurs in 3rd after comfortably seeing off basement club Sunderland. Goals from Sergio Aguero and Leroy Sané gave Pep Guardiola's side their 17th league win of the campaign.
I feel we are playing quite good, and that's why we are making results. But of course now we are in a position when you arrive in March and April, every game, if you win, you stay, if you lose, you are out. So in Premier League, in Cup, in the Champions League, the players know, we know, the club knows. If we are not able to win the next game, we will be out.
In Serie A, defending champions Juventus were unable to open up a 10-point cushion at the summit following Roma's defeat after being held by Udinese. Duvan Zapata gave the hosts a first-half lead, but that was cancelled out by Leonardo Bonucci after the break.
And in La Liga, Antoine Griezmann scored twice as Atletico Madrid moved back into 4th place following a comfortable victory over Valencia. Fellow French international Kevin Gamero was also on the score sheet.
We're now in the most important part of the season. Every game is a final, and every point is so hard to be won. Let's see who finishes stronger to keep in the position which gives you the ticket for the Champions League.
Golf now, and Dustin Johnson has again justified his place at the top of the world rankings with back-to-back PGA Tour titles. In his first start since climbing to #1 following victory at the Genesis Open 2 weeks ago, Johnson held his nerve to claim the WGC Mexico Championship.
Well, it means a lot. Obviously, it's a tough spot to be in. There's a lot of pressures on you, and I came out and I played really well. I felt like I hit the ball great all week. The greens, they're tough to putt on, and I didn't feel like I putted my best, but I really hit the ball well, and I played just well enough, I guess, because I won by 1.
Phil Mickelson had started the day in contention, but an even past 71 saw him finish 10 under for the tournament, tied for 7th with Rory McIlroy, who is making his first start since mid-January. With overnight leader Justin Thomas also falling away, it's looked increasingly like a two-way battle for victory between DJ and Jon Rahm. The two were tied at 14 under through 15 holes. But back-to-back bogeys from Rahm saw the Spaniard fade. He eventually carded a 3 under 68 to finish 12 under overall. Johnson's next challenge came from Englishman Tommy Fleetwood, whose 6 birdies, including here at the last, moved him 1 ahead of Rahm on 13 under. If the world number 1 failed to par the last, a playoff beckoned. But an excellent bunker shot left Johnson with a 2-putt par for the title. And he made no mistake to seal a 4th WGC crown. Johnson's victory makes him the 3rd multiple winner on the tour this season, after Thomas and Hideki Matsuyama. The PGA Tour continues with the Valspar Championship in Florida.
On the European Tour, there was a maiden victory for South Africa's Dean Burmester at the Swarna Open in Pretoria. Burmester had started round 4-1 off the pace, but soon joined the leaders with a birdie at the first, despite having found some nasty rough off the tee. And this approach on the second led to another gain and the solo lead. Burmester well on course for the biggest victory of his career so far. 4 more front 9 birdies followed, and he looked nailed on for the win after this led to his 9th of the day at 14. However, it wasn't quite all over. Back-to-back bogeys allowed the challengers a sniff. Both Finland's Mikko Korhonen with this at 14 and Spain's Jorge Campillo would get to within 3 shots. But despite shots like this, neither would be able to make any further ground on the home player. Burmester almost finishing with a flourish with a final hole birdie, but a par was good enough. A first European Tour win adding to his 6 Sunshine Tour triumphs. The victory could take Burmester into the world's top 100. South Africans have now won this event in 4 of the last 5 years. The European Tour continues in India later this week.
We end part 1 with the NBA, and the Houston Rockets' James Harden once again underlined his MVP credentials. Harden posted a game-high 33 points and 11 assists as the Rockets shot at their 44th win of the regular season at the expense of the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the 20th time this term that the Beard has had at least 30 points and 10 assists. Houston would certainly not be flying high without Harden. But he wasn't the only Rocket to fire against Memphis. Clint Capela had a career-high 24 points. The Grizzlies were second best throughout, Mike Conley leading them with 23. Lou Williams made only 1 of 6 three-pointers all night as Houston kept their noses in front. Memphis harboured playoff ambitions of their own, and Marc Gasol kept them in touch in the second.
Gasol is fouled by Anderson, and they're going to count the bucket.
Eric Gordon had 18 points off the bench for Houston and was more prolific from the three-point line than Williams, converting 6 of 9. But the third quarter was all about Harden. He had a hand in 30 points and scored 20 of Houston's 38 during that period.
He gets what he wants because why? He's the Beard.
Harden the key factor in the Rockets, outscoring the Grizzlies by 11 in the third. The hosts entered the final quarter with a healthy 15-point lead.
Harden hits again.
It was an advantage they never looked like surrendering. Gordon again prolific from the three-point line.
Hey, to the basket. Decker with an extra pass to Gordon. He's been hot.
On a night when the San Antonio Spurs joined Golden State in confirming their Western Conference playoff place, third place Houston did their own top 8 hopes no harm at all. Still ahead, Feyenoord slip, but Ajax can't capitalise. Tevez stars as Chenois begin with win. And Bellew set to continue heavyweight fight.
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by Brickfields Asia College, the fastest and smartest way. MyEG, your e-government service provider. And Wanda Coffee. Try the new Wanda Extra Presso.
Hey, wait, come back. This is not a commercial. It's not a commercial. Actually, it is, lah. It's more than that, though. As a consumer, we always want extra perks for everything we buy. Waterproof one on this phone. Wow, slow-mo shot. Oh, you guys are serious about a demo. In most loyalty programs, when you purchase something, they reward you with either cash or points. But at Sen Heng, for every item you purchase, you get both cash and points. Double rewards. Shock, right? Oh, yo, it's the Samsung SUHD Curve TV. Hey, this TV waterproof one, ah?
Watch the Premier League live on Astro.
A reminder of the headlines from Omnisport. Magnificent Monaco strengthen title chances. Resurgent City win again. And DJ on song to take victory in Mexico. More football now, and Feyenoord gave their Eredivisie title challengers a glimmer of hope after losing to City rival Sparta Rotterdam. It was Sparta's first win against their more illustrious neighbours in almost 8 years. And it took them less than a minute to shock a Feyenoord side who'd won their previous 10 league games.
Here's an early cross from Sparta. It's a really good one! What a start! Matthias Pogba, 48 seconds! Well, that was not in the script.
Pogba, the brother of Manchester United's Paul, getting Sparta off to a start they could only have dreamed about. Feyenoord were struggling to create clear chances, and the frustration appeared to get to Tony Vilhena, with the midfielder lucky not to see red for an elbow on the goalscorer. 13 minutes from time, Feyenoord thought they had an equaliser.
Oh, it's gone over the goalkeeper. And what's the referee going to give here? The answer is nothing.
But there's no Hawkeye at this stadium, so what helped the visitors last weekend couldn't this time, despite the ball clearly being over the line. There was no way back after that, and second-placed Ajax had hope.
But the Amsterdam Giants couldn't take advantage after being held to a draw at Groningen. Andre Onana's moment of madness handed the hosts the lead.
Oh my goodness, he's lost it, Onana. Would you believe it?
That's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace as a goalkeeper.
Brian Linson gratefully accepting the gift.
On a day where the league leaders lose, he does this.
Ajax at least salvaged a point 8 minutes from time.
And there's the equalising goal. A vital one from Davy Klaassen.
Klaassen touching home his 12th league goal of the season. But Peter Bosz and his side will surely rue this missed opportunity.
In Portugal's Primeira Liga, Sporting missed the chance to cement third place after an uninspiring 1-1 draw at home to Vitória Guimarães. They did take the lead 10 minutes before the break. Bas Dost's header teeing up Alan Ruiz, who swept home his 4th goal in 5 Primera Liga matches. Sporting should have gone into half-time 2 ahead. Vitoria keeper João Miguel untroubled by Bruno Cesar's tame effort. The hosts remained on top in the second half and more chances came and went. Substitute Joel Campbell this time guilty of poor finishing. And it came back to bite the hosts. Vitoria's Moussa Marega converting Bruno Gaspar's cutback, the Mali international striker's first goal since the end of October. The result moves Sporting 6 points clear of 4th placed Braga, but leaves them well adrift of lead duo Benfica and Porto.
In the Chinese Super League, Carlos Tevez won the battle of the big money South Americans, as his Shanghai Shenhua team began their season by beating Alex Teixeira's Jiangsu Suning. To make matters worse for the Brazilian, he was sent off in second half injury time. Tevez, who became the world's highest paid player after signing from Boca Juniors, didn't take long to make an impression on his league debut. His free kick headed home by former Colombia international midfielder Giovanni Moreno. Tevez would get his moments later in the first half, the Argentine pressuring Hong Jong-ho into a handball in the penalty area. And the former Manchester United and City player stepped up himself to convert from 12 yards. You get the feeling that's the first of many CSL goals for the Argentine star. Jiangsu weren't too far away from halving the deficit midway through the second period. Wei Ji unlucky to see his effort bounce to safety off the post. But Tevez wasn't out of the spotlight for long. His corner volleyed goalwards by Freddy Garin, with Mao Zhangqing getting the decisive touch. And Tevez would also have a hand in Shanghai's 4th and final goal, flicking the ball to Moreno for his 2nd of the game. Teixeira had found himself utterly overshadowed, but he would make the headlines for the wrong reasons. A petulant late kick-out at Shanghai substitute Wan Yung, earning the Brazilian a 2nd yellow card. A shocking day for Teixeira and Jiangsu. Shenhua, who haven't won a top-flight title since 1995, off to a flyer.
Tiada siapa akan tahu betapa hebatnya anda sampailah anda melakukannya. Anda bukan sahaja bagus, tetapi lebih hebat daripada bagus. Pencapaian yang besar dapat dicapai dengan kerja keras. Dengan dashing deodorant tanpa gas baru, anda akan tahan dengan lebih lama.
Hey, wait, come back. This is not a commercial. It's not a commercial. Actually, it is lah. It's more than that, though. As a consumer, we always want extra perks for everything we buy. Waterproof one on this phone. Wow, slow motion. Wow. You guys are serious about a demo. In most loyalty programs, when you purchase something, they reward you with either cash or points. But at Sen Heng, for every item you purchase, you get both cash and points. Double rewards. Shock, right? Oh, yo, it's the Samsung SUHD Curve TV. Hey, this TV waterproof one, ah?
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by MyEG, your e-government service provider. Wanda Coffee. Try the new Wanda Extra Presso. And Brickfield's Asia College, the fastest and smartest way.
Now tennis, and Lesia Tsurenko clinched her 3rd WTA title after upsetting the odds against Kristina Mladenovic in the Mexican Open final in Acapulco. Tsurenko had reached the showpiece after top seed Mirjana Lucic-Baroni retired from their semi-final due to illness. And the Ukrainian looked the sharper to go on to break Mladenovic early. Mladenovic's only previous tour title had come in St. Petersburg in January, but she was a shadow of that player in the opener. Down a double break, the Frenchwoman's touch did belatedly return. But it was too little too late, as Tsurenko went on to take the opener in 27 minutes.
What a complete performance in that first set from Lisa Tsurenko, in the second seed, Mladenovic looking a bit stunned here. She trails by a set.
Desperately needing something to get her going, Mladenovic finally got it in the second. Service breaks were the norm, but the decisive one came in the 11th game. Tsurenko grabbing her opportunity with both hands as she prepared to serve for the championship. The first match point, the world number 50 clinched it. A third tour triumph, adding to titles in China last year and Turkey in 2015.
On the ATP Tour, Pablo Cuevas is still the man to beat in Sao Paulo. The two-time defending champion defeated top seed Pablo Carreño Busta in straight sets to move a step closer to a Brazil Open three-peat. After struggling in his quarter-final with Diego Schwartzman, Cuevas started in top gear in this last four clash. An early break set the tone. Uruguayan storming into a 4-1 first-set lead, and he didn't look back. Cuevas sealing the opener for the loss of just 3 games. But his opponent wasn't going down without a fight. The Spaniard began playing further inside the court at the beginning of the second, and it proved a good move. Busta Carreño able to use his forehand more effectively as his consistency returned. But Cuevas, who's vying for a 6th title on the red stuff, hit back in the 8th game. And he went on to complete the victory in a tiebreak to reach his 3rd successive Sao Paulo showpiece.
The highest remaining seed was Spain's Albert Ramos Vinolas. But the first set went the way of Portuguese opponent João Sousa in their semi. The world number 37 taking advantage of regular errors from the racket of Ramos. Throughout the second, Sousa continued to grind, but match point down, how gutsy was this forehand up the line from the second seed? After saving that, the pendulum swung the way of the higher-ranked player. Ramos Vinolas reeling off 3 games in a row to level proceedings. And the Spaniard won 9 of the final 11 games to claim the semi-final in a little over 3 hours.
Boxing now, and the fallout from a heavyweight clash high on drama and intensity continues. WBC cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew claimed he broke his hand while beating David Haye at London's O2 Arena. Haye, in just his 3rd fight since 2012, came off worse. He battled bravely to round 11 after an Achilles injury sustained in round 6 damaged his hopes.
Just before the stoppage come, I looked at David and I said, "Stop now." And he said, shook his head, laughed, and I said, "Please stop. I'm not here to hurt people." And as I said, "Please stop," I looked at Shane and I said, "Stop it, lad." And he took the right hands all night, but it's the left hook that he didn't see, and it just made him collapse and fall out the ring the way he did. It was over.
Following all the trash talk and bitterness ahead of the fight, a level of respect has now been forged between the boxers. A rematch has already been mooted, even though Haye's camp apparently had no desire to insert such a clause before Saturday's bout. And Bellew's future also looks uncertain.
I could walk away tomorrow, mate, happily. I could. But I know he's going to make me an offer that I can't.
We'll sleep on that.
He's going to make me an offer that I can't, man. I know it. I know he is. So I'm going to play the clown, keep staying in the circus until the circus doesn't want me no more. 'Cause that's what this is, mate. Don't. I know, you know, you look at it as a sport and it's headlines and that. To me, it's a circus. One big freak show.
While the Bellew Hay bout drew plaudits, the same can't be said for UFC 209 between Tyron Woodley and Stephen Thompson. Woodley retained his welterweight title, but a lacklustre clash was criticised in some quarters. UFC President Dana White claimed Thompson did enough to win, but Woodley dismissed those comments.
He's not the judge. I mean, you know, he's the president of the UFC. He told me the same thing in the back. I took no offense to it. You know, sometimes you watch fights, you watch it with emotion. You know, it's not always the most attractive fight to see the guys that are playing a chess match. So, no, it didn't offend me at all, and it was a close fight.
Next up is UFC 210, when Daniel Cormier will attempt to defend his light heavyweight championship belt against Anthony Johnson in New York in April.
We end the show on the slopes of Moscow. The FIS Freestyle Skiing Aerials World Cup season came to an end in spectacular fashion in the Russian capital. China completing a clean sweep in the men's and women's overall standings, Shi Guangpu and Zhu Mengtao sealing the Crystal Globes. The men's big final was a seesaw affair. Maxim Gustik with a fine jump, seeing him atop the rankings ahead of home favourites Maxim Burov. Though the best run was still to come. Zhu Han putting in a spotless double flip to earn a score of 125.22, a mark which wouldn't be beaten. The Chinese would finish nearly 15 points better off than Gustik to record his second career win, seeing him finish the campaign in 4th overall.
It was much more straightforward in the ladies' event, Australia's Lydia Lasilla proving unstoppable throughout. She earned a score of 100.11 in the big final, beating closest challenger Zhu Mengtao. But second place was enough for Zhu to seal the overall title ahead of Danielle Scott. So a career 3rd World Cup title for Zhu, an incredible achievement 1 year after undergoing cruciate ligament surgery. Men's overall winner Shi wasn't required to compete in the final, having already locked up the title beforehand.
Coming up tomorrow, can Chelsea re-establish 10-point lead? The key goals from across Liga MX. And the latest action from the NBA.
This program is brought to you by MyEG, your e-government service provider. Wanda Coffee, try the new Wanda Extra Presso. And Brickfields Asia College, the fastest and smartest way.
On the Saturday review, a massive battle in the dramatic race for the top 4 as Liverpool took on Arsenal at Anfield. Could League Cup winners Manchester United overcome their poor record against the division's lower lights as they faced Bournemouth? And for the champions Leicester, a chance to build on that huge win against Liverpool. They took on Hull City at the King Power.
It's been a busy few weeks for Manchester United. Progress in both the Europa League and FA Cup was followed by last Sunday's EFL Cup final victory against Southampton. This Premier League clash with Bournemouth offered them a chance to gain ground on the top four, with Liverpool facing Arsenal later in the day. Jose Mourinho's side were unbeaten in 16 league matches. 4 changes to the side that walked out at Wembley. In came Phil Jones, Luke Shaw, Michael Carrick and most notably Wayne Rooney, who last started a league game at Old Trafford 6 months ago. For Bournemouth, Benik Afobe replaced Jack Wilshere, while manager Eddie Howe was struggling with the flu. Mourinho, who said this week that United have learned he's not a monster, showed the Cherries boss his caring side. Watching this one, Kevin